Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back your lovely faces to a brand new video here on the channel. Well, as you can just see by here, Stephen Graham is facing backlash for his friendship with Johnny Depp. Graham was vocal in his support for Johnny Depp after his trial against AH, and rightfully so because they are good friends. They have been friends for the better part of nearly 2 decades, long before he actually got with AH, so keep that in mind because this reporter, this Nikki Peach, who she put something in this about Graham, like, oh, he should have thought of that before he worked with him. Sorry for being friend for nearly 20 years. Yeah, I can't be friends with you because in 10 years' time you're going to get accused. In 15 years' time, I'm going to do a TV show which is about this sort of stuff and they're going to blame you for it. That's what it is. And when you say it something like that and you say it out like that, it sounds so bloody stupid, doesn't it? But it goes on in the article that Stephen Graham has placed himself at the centre of an urgent conversation about young male this towards women and girls. Rightfully so. Adolescence, his Netflix show about 13-year-old boy charged with this of his female classmate, was watched by 6.45 million people in its first week of release. It has therefore come as a shock to some viewers that last year, Graham starred in Modi 3 Days on the Wing of Madness, a film directed by Johnny Depp, someone who recently stood accused of this by his ex-wife. Now remember, he won the lawsuit in the US. He was found to be innocent and he was the actual victim in this relationship. His ex-wife, Amber Heard, she was the person dealing out the DV. She was the one who was being horrible to him. She was the one who was throwing bottles at his head. She's the one who cut off the tip of his finger. We can keep going, but they don't want to bring any of this into this because it goes against Nikki Peach's agenda. Now it goes on as well, like say, while Depp won his lawsuit against her in the US, he lost his libels against the UK's Sun after the executive editor Dan Wootton called him this. And what has Dan Wootton gone and done in the last year or two? He's not said he's sorry, but he's implying to people, oh, I've said sorry to Johnny Depp about all of that because she lied. Yeah, this is the problem with the media. Now, Dan Wootton, he has done horrible stuff to a lot of people. Everyone who watches this channel knows that I don't like Dan Wootton. Dan Wootton, he faced false accusations himself. And again, he came out, he's like, yeah, now I understand. I'm sorry to Johnny Depp because this is what he went through. When you have things like this happening and it doesn't go against their narrative and they don't like it and they want to, pave the path forward, Nikki Peach and the people who are running some of the tweets and all that about all of this, which is kind of interesting, the ones where they're saying he's facing backlash, it's like a handful of people, literally. It's not more than 10 people or something like that, which is ridiculous. But they just want to put out there that, oh my god, Johnny Depp included. Adolescence has nothing to do with Johnny Depp. But they want to keep bringing his name into things, and they keep going on about the law case, the lawsuit against him and stuff. And it's like, the only reason you're doing that is because people will actually click into your article. That is it. But it goes on to say as well that, the highly publicized trial took place in April and June 2022, despite the verdict being widely considered as a victory for Depp. You can tell that this Nikki Peach, she was pissed with the actual trial going against her. That's it. She's like, wouldn't surprise me. Oh, I'm all for Amber. I'm all for Amber. But again, no, even with all the evidence that was out there, Amber Heard's therapist even stating that she said she's the one who starts the fights. They don't want to believe that though, because they are just so stupid up there, they don't want to see what's behind the hand. That's it. And all they seem to keep bringing up from the court case is this one text message out of 2 months and thousands of pages and video and photos and court documents which they got from the therapists and everything else. This is the only thing they keep bringing up. Oh, he sent a text message to someone that saying that he doesn't like her and he's going to do this. And it's like, there we go. This is all they can keep bringing out about him. And I know for a fact, and I think a lot of us do as well, the people who do these articles, they hate it that they can't find anything else out. AH, perfect example. They hired a private detective who could find dirt on anyone. He couldn't find dirt on Johnny Depp, but he found dirt on AH and her family. This is the problem, and I actually find it really funny because of it. But it goes on by here regarding those text messages, or that one text message. Are these not exactly the type of jokey messages that adolescence is trying to warn us about? Is online misogyny translating into real-life violence not one of the show's central themes? Is that not something Graham should have considered before working with Johnny Depp? And like I said, she's saying he should have considered all this before working with him. He's a friend. He's a very good friend. He knows that his friend is innocent. He stood by his friend because his friend was innocent. But another thing as well goes up by here, the very first part, is, we kind of went over this, you know, the online radicalization of teenagers. That's not Stephen Graham's fault. That's not Johnny Depp's fault. That's not people actually causing and doing all this horrible stuff's fault. It's the parents and the people who make that content that goes online. It's their fault. It's a mixture of the two. And for the parents, I know a perfect example of this. My niece. She's 14 this year. 2 years ago, I found her on TikTok. And I was like, what are you doing on there? Get off. Mummy says it's okay. Okay. And then she was 11 at the time. And the stuff she was watching, it was full of swearing. It was full of people hitting each other. Basically, if you can remember, oh, bloody hell, now I'm showing my age. Back in I think it was 2008, 2009, here in the UK, there was a thing going around called the happy slap. And what it was, people would film just random people getting slapped by someone. And that's why it was called a happy slap. They were doing that again this day and age. Obviously, you see people doing it. And it's like, oh, right, okay then. So, you gotta blame Stephen Graham, Johnny Depp, or the people who were friends. Oh, you shouldn't be doing this because look what's happening online. No. And like I said, with the parents, I spoke with my sister, and it keeps her quiet. It's sad, it really is. But going back into the article it says about not only did Graham remind fans of his friendship with Depp, but also because Brad Pitt is the producer on this show, they're like, oh my god, Stephen Graham's got Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt. Like we said, Johnny Depp has nothing to do with this. But then you go by here, it says that Brad Pitt, who stands accused of this by his ex-wife. And with that straight away, what is the key thing? Accused. Accusations. Allegations. Innocent until proven guilty. But the reason that they don't go around with all of this and they are like, oh no, he's been accused, we've got to wait, is because any man being a victim, they do not go for. They don't. Because they're like, no, believe all victims unless it's a man. That's exactly their train of thought. And to be honest with you, it's sad and it's disgusting. Because you got these people by here. There's Ash Person. Adolescence is a fantastic series and Stephen Graham is one of the best actors around, but his shtick about how the internet perpetuates misogyny rings a bit hollow, given his vocal support for Johnny Depp, a man who was innocent, by the way, remember? Not to mention the fact that he got Brad Pitt to produce this series. Yeah. This is the problem. They just want to see what's on social media, and it's trial by social media this day and age, which is one of the worst things ever. The London court case with Johnny Depp. We went through all of that, remember, on this channel. We had detailed breakdowns of the judge who presided over everything. Then you can see the other things that were happening. They just didn't care. They just really did not want to see what was happening. And then you had the 3 judges who Johnny Depp's team had to go in for to see if their appeal would be granted. The 3 judges said, you can't make a case out of this. You never had a fair trial. But here in the UK, for some unknown strange reason, the judges were like, we can't grant the appeal though. And the reason that is because here in the UK, if a judge makes a decision, getting an appeal is extremely hard. It works sometimes, but not all the time. And that is one of the worst things ever, because it's not following the law. It's almost like, oh, well, we're judges, remember? Anyone comes in to appeal my stuff, you gotta make sure that it stays the way I said. That's how they do it. And that is sucky. Very sucky. But then it goes over regarding, again, you know, that they are right. Whichever way you look at it, the important subjects Graham tackles in adolescence and important subjects they are seriously undermined by his relationship with both these figures. No, they're not. It's sad to see, but one thing that I have seen as well is that some people have been replying to these people and they're saying, what if your father, your brother, or your boyfriend or whatever was accused of doing something horrible? And what were they replying back with? Wouldn't happen, they're nice people. Yeah, okay. False accusations can harm anyone, and everyone knows it. And it's one of the sad things to see, because this day and age, you cannot believe all victims, sadly. I think everyone would like to believe all victims, but we have seen so much bad shit happen in this world because of people lying. It's the way it is, and it absolutely sucks. Let us know down below what you think about this, folks, because the way everyone is going on about this, like I said, it's only a handful, and this Nikki Peach, you can't even ask her questions because she's locked her Instagram and her Twitter X accounts, so there's no way of getting hold of her. But I think it would be interesting to see, is like, where did you get all your facts about this from? Because I can guarantee you a lot of these people didn't even watch the actual trial against her. Guarantee it. Let us know down below, folks, what you think of this. If you are new, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.